Admittedly, I rarely play visual novels. I played Doki Doki Literature Club and loved it, but now that I think about it, that's about it. Which is disappointing because Paranormal Sight sets a really high bar. I thoroughly appreciate the writing, the humor, the horror elements, and the various twists and turns. Now, there are some twists that you can see coming, they're telegraphed pretty easily, but there are a number that are true jaw droppers, which I feel will be a treat for any paranormal mystery fan. The opening section for Paranormal Sight does an excellent job of introducing the players to how the story chart will unravel. Your choice of dialogue or action during these parts will push the narrative along and, in some cases, open up new routes or endings. Experimenting is well worth it because of the potential spectacle that can come along with it. The central narrative centers around the rumored rite of resurrection and the various curse bearers who are looking to either enact this ritual or put a stop to it. Curse bearers are individuals who hold a curse stone, and that allows them to wield the curse's power as long as certain circumstances are met. Using these curses will allow the bearer to earn soul dregs, and a certain number is required for the rite of resurrection. Now, these curses can only be enacted in the evening, and killing curse bearers will provide far more soul dregs than killing individuals without them. There are 4 primary points of view in Paranormal Sight, and the player will have to switch between these POVs to further the narrative. Think of it as a puzzle game, in which the player's actions will alter the other POV routes. It is important to take your time and be as thorough as possible in conversations, and when you have the ability to look around and investigate your surroundings. Each of these POV characters have their different motivations for pursuing or stopping the rite of resurrection, and practically every character that is interacted with feels fully fleshed out and layered. Richter, Ariel, and Mio are immediate standouts because of their impressive abilities and funny gestures. They are thoroughly entertaining and engaging characters, and their interactions are really fun. Now, I say practically every character because there's one who feels completely out of place amongst the core cast, and it can be actually frustrating when you learn of their motives. I'm not saying that their participation in the narrative doesn't make sense, but their motivations feel out of place. I just had to get this out of the way. You'll know it when they show up. Now, as it is a visual novel, the game is filled with exposition, and sometimes that can be a lot to handle, especially because there are a number of parts that will require you to remember key events and people. Thankfully, you can pull up your menu at any time with no penalty to the game. There are no timed events, and it is recommended that if you're unsure about how to approach a certain part, that you check your files often. There are certain sections of the game that will require you to make changes in the options. I thought this was incredibly clever, but these events only show up a handful of times. This is fairly disappointing because Paranormal Sight made you believe that these sections would be commonplace, but they aren't, and there's not much diversity when they do reappear. There were, however, a number of rare moments that require clever decision making to create new routes. Sections like these were a pleasant surprise because they acted as brain teasers, and the results were always entertaining. It was a lot of fun trying to piece together this mystery. Paranormal Sight's ability to remain consistently engaging until its conclusion is honestly impressive. By this, I mean as soon as you start the game, it immediately thrusts you into the mystery surrounding Honjo, and it never lets up. It is a true treat to discover certain character motivations, the different mysteries of Honjo, how the curses work, and the various grim turns along the way. I was seriously impressed when the narrative started to tread along a dark path and didn't let up. When this game wants to throw haymakers, it does not miss. Even when you are able to piece together a twist fairly early, the path to getting there is deeply satisfying. I was rarely disappointed with the storytelling and dialogue because those missteps are very rare. I did wish, however, that they delved more into the horror elements as it is a paranormal game. It's not that there aren't jump scares or tense moments, but there isn't enough. Overall, I really recommend Paranormal Sight, and if you have any reservations about playing a visual novel, just know that you can enjoy this game in short spurts. It is 8 to 10 hours overall, and for $20 with some replayability, that's a pretty good package. I myself got the game at $15 on Steam. It was on sale, which was wild because it's a brand new game, but you know how it is. There are multiple endings to Paranormal Sight, and getting to its natural conclusion is fairly easy as long as you are attentive. I will say that if you aren't paying attention in certain areas, you will get stuck. but the game is fairly forgiving, and at certain routes, you can choose where to start. Just head back to the story chart, select the part, and then select where you want to start. It's that simple. The other endings, which can be unlocked fairly early in part 2, are usually the result of the player giving into temptation. That's generally how I fell into it, and this was entertaining as hell because honestly, who doesn't want a little chaos every now and then? Now there is a true conclusion, and this requires the player to really pay attention near the end. You will need to piece together certain phrases, and also remember something happening when you start the game. If you happen to finish Paranormasight and are confused on how to get the true ending, I did create a walkthrough, and I can show you how to achieve this. Just leave a comment below, and I will go ahead and push that out. Now, if you happen to enjoy the content, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you happen to have any visual novel suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Have a good one, everyone, and thanks for watching.